Right, welcome everyone to the Simon Show. Today, we are going to go through Mourinho's press conference before the match against Verona, and I'm going to give you guys a translation using direct quotes coming from Jose Mourinho's mouth. And at the end of every big chunk of quotes, I'm going to give my reaction to it and, some feelings I got after the quote. But before we get onto the press conference reaction, all you need to do if you're new here is to subscribe to this channel. Also like this video. Like target, let's say 15 likes by the end of this video before by the end of this live stream before it becomes a video. That makes much more sense. Also stay tuned tomorrow because there will be a live watch along like usual for Verona. It's a tough match and a very important match because the 3 points are key to keep the rhythm, to win, and Inter battered Bologna 6-1. Atalanta are currently playing 0-0 against Salernitana, and we'll see tomorrow's matches as well. But if big clubs of this area lose points and there's a big match to focus on after Roma's match tomorrow, Juventus against Milan, to keep these players' rhythm, Roma need to win tomorrow, and it is a very important match, so set a reminder on your calendars. Come here, live watch along tomorrow. But the live watch along is tomorrow. Before reaching the live watch along, we've got Mourinho's press conference. So, you know what, without further ado, let's get onto the first question journalists asked Mourinho, because we have some bad news, unfortunately, because Vina did not get a call from Jose Mourinho. Vina is actually injured. He got a good old shock to his knee. It's nothing broken. It's not an ACL. It's just when he was training before the match against Sassuolo, he banged his knee, and that is painful. So Vina did not get a call from this match, so we have to expect Calafiori to play once again. And I don't mind because Calafiori has incredible potentials. I expect a lot from Calafiori. I think he's a perfect player to grow up with Mourinho. So let's just stick that to mind. So the first question journalists asked Mourinho is, you said to pray every day for injuries, and today Vina and Mkhitaryan are not at their best. Mkhitaryan is got a cold but is not 100% fit. He has some, his muscles are tired. He came from international duty. So let's take that in our minds as well. Did you like Ibanez playing as a right back? And what happened to Villar? He seems to have lost enthusiasm. And Mourinho obviously started this to respond this question in his usual savage ways, we can say. He said, you seem to be looking for things that don't fit with a pre-game conference. It's pre-match, not post-match. I thought more about talking about the next match and less about this. I don't know very well how to answer. On Mkhitaryan and Vina, it's easy. They have two small problems. Small ones. And with the quality of the people who work in the medical department, I always expect positive things. I'm still looking forward to having the players available. The question about Villar, I do not understand. I do not understand the question. Why this question? Why was he last year the only player? This year, all you guys are saying is that he lost the enthusiasm and you're not happy with him. What can I answer to you? Paulo had a different vision of football from mine. He had different visions from me. And as well as the next Roma coach will have them from me. There's no problem with Villar. Maybe Villar's problem is that Cristante and Veretout are playing very well. There is no problem in talking about a starter in a way of being here. It doesn't have a deep sense. So this was the first, It was a very long quote to start the press conference. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're getting, obviously we're seeing Villar, and I can admit this as well. Villar is not the same player. I think with Fonseca he played better, but that's perfectly fine. Every manager have different views on every player. So I think the way Mourinho plays, which is aggressive football, and the two defensive midfielders being the most important two players out of the 11 player, means that the players need to perform well, And if they don't perform well, then you're screwed. And to be fair, if I were Villar, if I were Diawara, if I were Darboe, it would be really hard for me to play right now because Cristante and Veretout are getting so good match after match, and I do expect them to grow even more and to form that bond which defensive midfielders actually do. So, we understood this. Villar played way better with Fonseca, but this doesn't mean that Mourinho can't regenerate him. He is a useful player that can play in the Europa Conference League. In fact, I will try him even more, because the only way to really push the good, positive things about Villar out of him is to play him, and so I think I expect, as a Roma fan, Villar playing more matches in the Europa Conference League, and it's a bonus because he has a special talent. Maybe he's not aggressive like Veretout, but he has something Veretout doesn't have, and this thing is a good touch. He has the potentials of being the new Iniesta, and I might exaggerate here, but he does, I'm not saying this because Villar is a Roma player and I'm a Roma fan. Villar has an incredible touch. He has the potentials to be a great Spanish national team player. In fact, one of the best, like Pedri. He has the potentials to become like Pedri, but he's not secure of himself. And it is very, very, very important for him to try more and more and not stop fighting. There was also a great positive thing, which I think not many fans are actually noticing from this first quote, because Mourinho said, "With the quality of the people who work in the medical department, I always expect positive things." And this might be, who cares? Okay, they're doctors. They just go like that onto a player's muscle. They massage him, and he's fine. It's a nonsense job. No, you're absolutely wrong if you think this. Mourinho is the best manager ever because of a reason. And this reason is because he makes a football club live like a brotherhood. All the players love each other. The players love Mourinho. Mourinho loves the players. The players love the staff. The staff love the players. The players love the presidents. The presidents love the players. It's like this. And the fact he's mentioning the doctors who massage the players' muscles is such an important thing, because he's creating more and more and more and more of a team, more of a family. And to build this family, to win trophies, you don't only need the 11 players starting every match. You need every single person who has a job which is linked to AS Roma. And I'm talking about the chef. I'm talking about the bathroom cleaners as well. By giving incredible mentions in these press conferences, you can really understand the bonds Mourinho is building. And this is such an important thing. So I expect, obviously, these players, which got a good shout out from Mourinho in the press conference, to have a positive view and to, not to grow because they're not going to play, but to become more focused on their job, because I'm not sure if the doctors with Mourinho were the same with Fonseca. But with Fonseca, players got injured every single time, and that means that the doctors weren't doing a great job. Up to now, we had a few injuries, but not as much as what Fonseca's Roma did. So it's a good sign, because once again we're seeing Mourinho building a squad, building a family, building a brotherhood. So this was his first quote, which included many questions, to be fair, because he talked about Villar, he talked about Vina and Mkhitaryan, and I'll be curious to see if Vina and Mkhitaryan will start tomorrow, because Vina won't, that's it. He didn't get a call, Calafiori will play tomorrow, but Mkhitaryan will be very interesting to see if he plays, because to be fair, if he's not 100% fit, just don't start him. El Shaarawy is on a great form, start him, and don't risk Mkhitaryan. So that's my view on it. But the second question is the presidents of Cagliari and Verona gave little time to the coaches, given the exemptions of Semplici and Di Francesco. Now, for people who are confused here, Cagliari and Verona had two managers. Cagliari's manager was called Semplici, and Verona's manager was called Di Francesco, which was the manager who brought Roma in a Champions League semi-final. So it would have been interesting to see Di Francesco playing against Roma, But unfortunately, that won't happen because I think, obviously, this is a Roma channel. We support Roma all together. I'm a Roma fan. I couldn't care less about Cagliari and Verona. But I think they were wrong to sack De Francesco and Semplic after 2 matches. It doesn't make no sense. Okay, your team's lost 3 matches out of 3. But we're at the start of the season. I wouldn't even dare sack these managers. But unfortunately, they did get sacked. And obviously, journalists wanted to ask Mourinho an impression of this. And Mourinho said, "I don't like talking about other people's things. They are the ones who have to explain their own decisions. I can only say that I'm very sorry for 2 colleagues sacked so soon. But this is not my thing. I cannot say any more. I am happy that Mazzari is back. We have trained together in Italy and England. Tudor has found an excellent opportunity to return to coaching, and I'm happy for him. I'm sorry for Semplic and Di Francesco. I hope they can come back soon." And, what's his name? Mazzari, which was a Watford manager in the Premier League. He's got Premier League experience, is now the Cagliari new manager, and Tudor is the new Verona manager. And this is very interesting because in Tudor's press conference, someone asked him, "What are you most scared about when the name AS Roma pops in your head?" And he said, "I'm only scared about Jose Mourinho." That was curious, but that was fun to listen. But yeah, I mean, this quote makes you understand that Mourinho has respect onto everyone, which supports him, which says good words about him. And, managers out there, Mourinho will forever have your respect. And, that's important because, Mourinho is obviously famous to have those savage moments against other managers or referees. But at the end of the day, he is professional. He's a professional man. He's a professional manager. And he has respect to every player. And he loves giving and saying good words about these managers in his press conferences. And we've seen this with Italiano, Fiorentina's manager. We've seen this with Castori, Salernitana's manager. We've seen this quite a lot. And it's nice because we're seeing Mourinho's actual professional side as well as the savage and critical side of Mourinho. So yeah, I'm gutted not to see Di Francesco because Di Francesco is really unlucky. Now, after Roma, he went to Sampdoria and got sacked after 3 months. After Sampdoria, he went to Cagliari and got sacked after 4 months. After Cagliari, he now went to Verona and got sacked after 3 matches. He's unlucky. Unfortunately, he will never repeat what he did at Roma, bringing them in a Champions League semi-final. But it would have been curious to see how he would have coped and played against Roma. But, let's get that out of our minds because it won't happen. Tudor is the new Verona manager. Now, the third thing journalists asked Mourinho is, Vina is not well and Calafiori came out with cramps. Have you ever thought, given the injury situation, to adopt a 3-man defense? Have you ever considered Santon's reinstatement? This is very interesting. In fact, it's probably the most interesting question out of all. First of all, the journalist did say Vina is not well, and he's absolutely right. And he did say Calafiori came out with cramps against CSKA Sofia, and he's absolutely right. But I don't think I think Calafiori will start. He's young. He has those muscles to keep on playing, even though he has cramps. I think Calafiori will start tomorrow. But, the journalists asked Mourinho this in case Calafiori gets a severe injury as well. And they asked Mourinho if he ever considered playing with 3 defenses and if Santon is, something for Mourinho and if he can reinvest in Santon. So let's see what he said. He said, "No, I thought of Trippi, who will be called up with us. And if tomorrow we have any problems with these players that you said, Trippi has pre-seasoned with us. He's played many games with us. He has learned our way of thinking and he is an intelligent kid who can play in any defensive position. He has no experience, but he has a super Roma heart, and with intelligence to be able to play. I don't think about Santon's return, nor about other players who are not with us. We can play 3 or 4 defenders. We haven't done it yet, but I can't say we won't. It is an open situation, so many teams in this area are playing for it. And if in some games we think it will be the best way to win the game, we can do it. Interesting. Very interesting. He mentioned Trippi. And now, remember everyone, Trippi played many matches in the preseason friendly matches. And he was great. I think he bagged a few assists in those friendly matches as well. So I really don't mind seeing Trippi. Now, would I start Trippi is obviously another topic. Calafiori will start in my opinion, but let's just imagine Roma going on a 2-0 lead at halftime. I think Trippi can play, and it's something Mourinho said as well. He has faith in these academy players, and it is such an important thing because, as I said in many live streams, Roma is not a rich club, right? So unlike PSG, who maybe might be lacking a midfielder or a defender if they're injured, this is what PSG do if they have an injury in their team. Boom, he's injured. I'm going to spend a few quid and buy another player. That's the cycle of PSG. It works like this, buying over buying. Then they don't win anything and they buy new players to try and win something. Then they'll never win the Champions League and they spend millions and millions and millions on players. That's the cycle of PSG. I think unlike rich clubs, Roma need to try and invest in academy players because it can save them a lot when it comes to economic factors. And just try them. I'm very, very happy that Mourinho gave a call to Trippi tomorrow because just getting a call can get you that experience. Even if you don't play, you're getting that call. You're getting that call in front of Roma fans that think the most important moment of your entire life. Your experience can boost just for that. I'll read the chat as soon as I finish my press conference reaction. Don't worry, mate. So that's it. Try academy players, and with many clubs like Liverpool. Look at Harvey Elliott. Many clubs have experienced in these academy players, and they benefited their own club. I am very happy to see Mourinho giving a call to Trippi, and I'll be very curious to see if Trippi can actually start tomorrow. I still think Calafiori will start, but it will be very curious to see. And he also said that I don't think about Santon's return, and that just means that Santon is screwed. He won't have the chances with Mourinho. So at this stage, if I were Santon, I would either do like Fazio and Zonzi are trying to do, to try and sit down, get an agreement with Roma, and maybe try to get paid from Roma to leave, or try... it has been many years that Santon has been very close to Turkish clubs. Fenerbahce, Besiktas, I know a couple of Serie A clubs want him. It's the perfect timing of his career when these clubs can actually, boom, buy him. He doesn't cost much, and he is one of those players which won't improve Roma's squad, but can easily improve Salernitana's squad, for example. So we understood that Santon is not a part of Mourinho's project, and it means that it's a positive thing, because it means that Mourinho wants to experiment with academy players rather than playing with dead players like Santon, like Nzonzi. Academy players can be the future of every club, and I'm very, very in favor of managers giving them calls, experimenting in Serie A, like Darboy, like Fonseca did with Darboy. And now the last question a journalist asked is about Borja Mayoral, and we tend to get this question from journalists quite a lot because they're curious about Borja Mayoral. Borja Mayoral with Fonseca was a very, very, very important player when Dzeko didn't perform. Borja Mayoral with Mourinho is someone who played 16 minutes up to now. So, things are different, and we'll see what Mourinho thinks. He said, the question was, Mayoral only played 16 minutes. What is he missing? And Mourinho said, He misses FIFA giving permission to play 12 players. If FIFA says they play 11, they play 11. It's a joking answer. It's a joking way to answer you, but because they don't miss anything. He is a good player and a good boy. He works a lot. It is true that he only played 16 minutes, but for the way he works, it is only to thank him for the fantastic professional player he is. He is a player I like more today than I was 2 months ago. Abraham and Shomurodov are doing very well. We can play with two forwards. When we decided to play in front of us, it is because we can do it. With Sassuolo, we also did it. And it is not possible to play in front of two without having someone on the bench. I like it for intelligence. It's cold in front of the door. But I also like Shomurodov and Abraham. But obviously, he wants more, but he will come because he's a good player and professional. So, we are getting the impression that Mourinho wants to experiment with Borja Mayoral. Mourinho wants to try Borja Mayoral. Mourinho has faith in him because he believes that three strikers are key. He did everything possible this summer to try and convince Dan and Ryan Fredkin to stop Borja Mayoral from getting back to Real Madrid. He severely wanted Borja Mayoral because he wants three strikers. The three striker project is his project. Sometimes he can start with two strikers. And if one of them gets injured, sub Borja Mayoral in. Sometimes you play with one striker and they can rotate. Abraham will start tomorrow in my opinion. Shomurodov can get subbed in for Abraham, and if Shomurodov gets injured, Borja Mayoral will play. It's a cycle, If you have three players, one will play and the other one will get subbed in most of the occasions. And then the third one, obviously, in this case Borja Mayoral, will be the player who plays the least. But this doesn't mean that the manager doesn't have faith in him and won't experiment with him in future upcoming matches. In fact, I expect Mourinho to start Borja Mayoral after getting so many questions about Borja Mayoral. It's like, let me give you this example, right? You're at school and you tend to struggle with maths, right? And your math teacher always keeps on asking you the same question, On Monday, you wake up, you go to the math class, and the teacher asks you, what's 3 times 3? Because he knows that you're struggling with it, right? And in this case, Borja Mayoral is struggling to convince Mourinho. So the math teacher on Monday says, what's 3 times 3? And you say 9. On Tuesday, he wants to check that you understood that. So on Tuesday, he'll ask, what's 3 times 3? It's 9. And so at the end of this cycle of teachers always asking you the same question, you get that. You will never be able to forget what 3 times 3 is. In this case, Mourinho got many questions. In every press conference, he got questions about Borja Mayoral. Why is Borja Mayoral not playing? Why is Borja Mayoral only played 16 minutes up to now? Does Borja Mayoral not convince you? He's getting this every press conference he does. So, he's tired of this. And to stop these questions about Borja Mayoral to come to him, he needs to play Borja Mayoral some days. And in fact, I severely think that he will start the match not next Thursday, the next Europa Conference League match. So, sorry if that example was just bullshit, but you get the idea. So I expect Borja Mayoral playing more and more and more and more. He's a professional player. Mourinho described him as professional. So we expect a lot from him. And this was Mourinho's press conference reaction, press conference analysis for tomorrow's match. Let me remind you, new people coming, that tomorrow there will be a watch along at 6 p.m. Italian time, 5 p.m. English time, and just wherever you're watching from, figure out the time and come here over at the Simon Show, and we can cheer Roma all together, just like usual, just like every weekend. So set reminder on your calendars. Right, let's read some comments. Hi Simon, you're doing a great job with this channel. Congratulations, keep up the great job. Thank you, mate. You should replay some of his interview with some clips, then translate. Yeah, mate, I thought about that, but obviously there's always the copyright problem. But Sky Sports and do some editing, make it more interesting. Ask for good evening, Elvis Azu. Welcome, Eddie Pegas. Brandon Ayong, Jose is not taking that trickery those journalists used to give to Fonseca. And yeah, Zaniolo, good evening, Gabriel Studios. And yeah, Zaniolo is amazing. He was a little fatigued recently, that's all. And also, this is his first season back, so he is pacing himself. Zaniolo is a sure starter for me. Shomurodov is for the striker spots. Definitely, Zaniolo is definitely starting for me. He has incredible talents. Jose wants to win, and he's picking players who are good enough to win. Journalists are silly. This isn't a charity game. The best who deserves to play will play. Yeah, definitely spot on, Eddie Pegas. And yeah, so yeah, that was basically it. It was a quick live stream, just Mourinho press conference reaction analysis. And tomorrow, watch along, as I said before, Alex, Chuck, and Gary will join us during halftime. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we'll get the 3 points to keep the rhythm of top clubs. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit, lads. I'll catch you tomorrow with a watch along. If you're new here, please subscribe, like this video. And if you're already subscribed, I'm going to give you a challenge. Go get your mum's phone, your dad's phone, your brother's phone, your sister's phone, your cousin's phone, your dog's phone. Subscribe to the Simon Show with their phone as well. And, you know, it would be great. Right, last comment. Simon, even Balotelli didn't start from Mourinho's Inter, so we shouldn't risk the game for developing young players. Yeah, mate, definitely. Right. We'll catch you tomorrow. Special match. Come here over on the Simon Show for that match. AS Verona Roma. Up the boys. Good night and take care. Also, lads, sorry, keep on interrupting. If you have Instagram, go over at the lower score of the Simon Show and go follow me there, because you can get, you know, some updates about live streams, about videos. So yeah, right, that's it. Good night. Take care. I'll catch you in a bit.